Hey folks, welcome back to another Bertelsmann Foundation 2024 election dispatch. And today we're looking at the surprisingly swingy state of Georgia.
And I smell the air. A change is gonna come.
Now for a long time, Georgia was considered a solidly red state, part of the solidly red South. Before the 2020 election, the last Democratic candidate for president to take Georgia was Bill Clinton in 1992, and the state hadn't voted for a Democratic senator since year 2000. Recently, though, Democrats are on a little bit of a win streak in the Peach State. Joe Biden won the state in 2020, and Georgia elected two Democratic senators, John Ossof and Raphael Warnock. So how did that happen? And does it mean Georgia's turning blue? The recent success Democrats have had is because the demographics of some key districts have swung in their favor. This is especially true in the counties in and around Atlanta. This is an area with a large African American population, it's got a growing Hispanic population, it's relatively wealthy, it's relatively well educated. It's an area that's a magnet for young people from around the country to come for job opportunities. These are all demographics that tend to break in favor of the Democrats. Now, Atlanta and the surrounding suburbs, that's 4.7 million people and accounts for 45% of Georgia's population. And if the Democrats can really run up their vote tallies there, they have a chance to win the state. And it was really Stacey Abrams and her 2018 campaign for governor that proved it. Abrams focused on trying to reconnect communities that had been disconnected from politics and to get them to the polls. She realized if we can get these folks to the polls, Democrats have a chance to win. Now, Abrams lost a bitterly close, bitterly contested election, but along the way she collected 48.8% of the votes, and that really proved that, hey, Democrats can win here. And of course, the vote here for president in 2020 was incredibly close between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Joe Biden ultimately won that by less than 0.25%. He won by 12,000 votes in a state where 5 million people voted. It was also a state where Trump alleged this supposed voter fraud, of which there was no proof. And he put a tremendous amount of pressure on Georgia Republicans to somehow switch the outcome results to say that he won. In fact, Donald Trump and a number of the people in his orbit face felony charges for trying to manipulate the results of the vote in Georgia in 2020. This made Georgia sort of a ground zero to the challenges to American democracy. Voters in Georgia saw their election get called corrupt, and they saw efforts to have fake electors seated. So how is all that going to affect the state in 2024? As of midsummer, Donald Trump is holding a polling advantage here, just as he is in most swing states across the country. But Kamala Harris plans to fight hard here and will make a number of trips to Georgia. So what's on voters' minds? Well, according to polling, one thing they're concerned about is democracy. And folks worried about the state of American democracy may be more likely to vote Democrat. But folks are also worried about inflation, and the data suggests that folks worried about inflation may be more likely to vote for Trump. I can tell you what I'm going to be watching. In recent years, large swaths of the American South has become ground zero for America's electric vehicle industry. That may seem surprising, but it's true. And Georgia is the heart of the new battery valley in the South. Whether it's the SK battery factory in Commerce, Georgia, or the new Hyundai EV plant in Savannah, or the battery recycling plant in Covington, this is an important new component of Georgia's economy, and Georgia's Republican Governor Brian Kemp has welcomed it. Now, it was Joe Biden's policies that created the subsidies that lured these electric vehicle companies to the South. And meanwhile, Donald Trump has been very suspicious of the transition to electric vehicles. If the Democrats were able to communicate that success, it would really benefit them here. But as of now, they have a lot of catching up to do if they want to repeat their 2020 victories here in Georgia. And we'll all be watching very closely to this key swing state in 2024.